Alright, bro, we finna get into this JCS criminal psychology. If y'all have never watched this channel, you are about to be amazed by the greatness. The first video I want to watch is this Stephanie LAZARUS. I'm gonna try to give y'all a rundown. So this woman right here committed a murder like 30 years ago. She was a police officer. Basically, she killed this woman. She was jealous of the woman because she was messing with a dude that she liked. So she like brutally murdered her ass, bro. I think they said she beat her to death with like a hammer or some shit. That was 30 years ago. The murder was not solved at all. And 30 years later, the police department that she worked for, they didn't have no open cases. So they had free time to like pull up old cases and shit. They pulled up that case and they found some evidence at the crime scene that was still sealed up. And I think it was like some saliva or some shit. So they actually fucking set her ass up, took a month, and she was drinking something, took the cup out the trash can, and the saliva matched the saliva at the crime scene. 30 years later.
On the evening of February 24th, 1986, 29-year-old nurse Sherry Rasmussen was found by her husband lying dead on the living room floor. Her face was severely beaten and disfigured to the point that she was unrecognizable, and the injuries were consistent with being hit with a muzzle and butt plate of a gun. She also had 3 gunshot wounds to the chest that were disclosed as the official cause of death, with the medical examiner asserting that any one of the 3 bullets could have killed her. Perhaps the most disturbing discovery during the autopsy was that most of Sherry's injuries were inflicted upon her after she was killed, which was concluded due to the lack of hemorrhaging and inflammation of the injuries. This included most of the victim's facial injuries and even a bite mark on her left forearm.
She f***ed her ass up, bro. F***ed her ass up.
Even after Sherry had taken her last breath, the assailant was still inflicting an inconceivable amount of damage to her body. She was buried in a closed casket 7 days later. The homicide detectives assigned to the case immediately associated Sherry's murder with multiple break-ins that had occurred that same night on the same street. Another woman had even been assaulted and was able to give a description of 2 assailants, and this description became the sole focus of the investigation into Sherry's murder. The prime suspects were now 2 middle-aged Latino males of medium height and build. They were never found, and the case went unsolved for 23 years. By
it was 23 years.
2009, crime in Los Angeles had declined enough from its earlier levels that detectives began looking into cold cases to
Train said he bit her, yeah. And then notice that he said that she did all of that after she was dead. So while she was dead, she was still beating her ass and biting her and shit. Some ill shit.
Increased their clearance rates, which is when the Rasmussen files resurfaced. It stood out from the rest as new methods of genetic analysis discovered that the DNA found at the crime scene pointed to a single female suspect. The 2 previous male suspects were then invalidated, along with the original theory of a burglary gone wrong. The investigation into Sherry Rasmussen's murder was then reopened, and the newly appointed criminal investigators started from scratch. It was soon discovered that a statement given by Sherry's father, of whom he thought to be the prime suspect, was quickly brushed to one side, as the person in question was a serving LAPD cop from the exact department who were investigating the case. The person in question was a woman by the name of Stephanie LAZARUS. She was a 25-year-old police officer at the time who had been with the force for 2 years. She had dated Sherry's husband, John Rutten, in an on and off relationship throughout college and for a short time after. It was even discovered that John had slept with LAZARUS after he became engaged, and the 2 even dated for a while after Sherry's murder. She was now a 25-year veteran of the police force. And
that's f***ed up, bro. So she killed that woman because of that dude. And he just said that they was actually f***ing with each other after the girl died. But it didn't even last long. She didn't even marry the nigga. The f***?
Worked her way up to a...
Not like that's gonna be any justification of what she did, but it's still like, bro, you killed this woman for like, what, a one-night fling? What?
Senior detective of the Commercial Crimes Division. She was essentially in charge of all art-related investigations in the city of Los Angeles. The investigators went with a gut feeling, and
in this interrogation video, this bitch gonna be looking crazy through the whole thing.
decided to make Lazarus the prime suspect, with the collection of her DNA being the very first task. Attaining it through a warrant would have let Lazarus know she was under investigation, so it had to be discreetly collected instead. Within 24 hours of becoming the prime suspect, a coffee cup she discarded while off duty was received by police. A DNA sample was then taken, and it came up as an exact match to the DNA found on Sherry Rasmussen's bite mark.
Yeah, it was from the bite mark. Damn. A bite mark. 30 years ago. Jeez. She probably would have got away if she didn't bite her ass. So that same saliva that was on her body from the bite mark is old ass spit on me. That's crazy. And it was a match.
There's a stigma around police interrogation tactics being secretive, and how knowing this information can somehow help the guilty in deceiving their way to freedom. Yet these tactics have been public knowledge since their inception in the 1940s, and the following interrogation is a legitimate testimony into how watching an interrogation is a world apart from being subjected to one. You can know every technique in the book and each specific strategy and subtle scenario that goes along with it, but ultimately, you have no idea how you're going to react to a specific situation until you're actually in it. With that being said, knowing these tactics can still give an individual some form of advantage with regards to awareness. The investigators knew that their initial confrontation with Lazarus could in no way resemble a traditional interrogation, nor be officially classified as one, and there were two reasons for this. The first was that Stephanie would be wise to the fact that her best option would be to request legal counsel right away and end the procedure immediately. The second was that Stephanie was not about to be read her Miranda rights before being asked questions related to the investigation.
So the officers that interrogated her was just basically setting her ass up for failure, bro. And they had to keep it discreet so she wouldn't like back out of the interview. And that's basically how this interrogation gonna start off. It's gonna start off, she gonna be thinking that she just getting interviewed for just some simple shit. But she actually don't know that she just became a murder suspect.
A defense team could easily make anything she divulges inadmissible in court. Yet this was classed as a simple discussion between two parties, and the footage that was captured on a hidden camera was able to be submitted as evidence under surveillance footage rather than interrogation footage. The detectives created a ruse, inviting Stephanie to come in and advise them on a case involving stolen art. Knowing they were dealing with one of their own, they rehearsed and prepared for the interview more than anything they had done before. Their plan of attack was to keep the conversation as casual as possible for as long as possible, and carefully waited for the key moments to initiate the confrontation.
Stephanie, I don't know if you know my partner. Or...
Hey, great.
Hi. Sure, nice to meet you.
You guys.
How's it going?
Good.
No interrupt. Well, have a seat. I didn't want to talk about this in the squadron because I don't know who people are listening.
That's true.
And if we go to my side, everybody's always wondering what everybody else is doing.
No problem.
Okay.
The first thing the detectives do is set up a compatible tone with the suspect. She has just stepped foot inside an interrogation room, and the detectives negate the negative implications of such an environment through a friendly disposition. Consultative meetings, such as seeking advice over an art theft, can take place anywhere, and the last place detectives would choose to spend more time in would be an interrogation room. The reason they give the suspect for meeting in such an unusual location is to not spread rumors or innuendo. Yet the real reason is that all firearms have to be checked in before entering the area, and they needed the suspect to give up her gun without alerting suspicion.
But like we're talking about being busy and stuff, we've been assigned a case that we've been looking at.
Okay.
It's a new case, and reviewing the case, there's some notes.
So she has no idea what the officers is about to ask her.
Your name being mentioned.
Okay.
Do you know John Rutan?
Try and imagine for one moment that you savagely murdered a love rival in a jealous rage. Over 2 decades had passed since the act. Then all of a sudden, you're brought to an interrogation room and sat directly opposite 2 senior investigators who bring up the name of the man you committed first-degree homicide for.
John Rutten?
Rutten.
The investigators already knew how to say John Rutten's name correctly. The mispronunciation was a simple strategy to see how the suspect would react. Setting aside the element of the murder, John Rutten was the second longest relationship in Stephanie's life, and a psychiatrist later stated that this pause was 4 times as long as it should have been. She was already being deceptive by acting as if she hadn't thought about that name for so long, giving reason for her prolonged reflection, when in reality, the name John Rutten was engraved in her memory, and even when slightly mispronounced, it would have most likely taken milliseconds for her to realize exactly who the detectives were referring to.
Right.
Y'all see how ill he break that shit down, bro? Like, I don't know who this is, bro. Y'all see how he just broke that shit down? She literally acting like she don't know that name. Because it's still, that event that happened of her murdering that girl is still engraved into her memory. And when the officer said, do you know a John Rutten? She like, what? Who is that? Bitch, you know who that is? You know who it is.
Yeah, I went to school with him.
You did?
Yeah.
How long did you know him?
Gosh, I went to school in, let's see, went to UCLA in 1978 I started, and, you know, met him at school at the dorms.
She says she met him in the dorms, yet left out the fact that they had dated for 4 years and went on numerous holidays together. Even though she wasn't asked directly, a truthful subject would most often volunteer this information without having to be pressed for it.
Were you guys friends, close friends?
Yeah, we're very close friends.
Yeah?
I mean, what's this all about?
Well, it's regarding, it's a case we're working on. It involves John, and in there, some of the statements we reviewed.
No, she ain't making nothing up. She making it seem like she don't really know who that dude. I mean, she like, I know him, but it ain't one like that. But the commentator just said that was her second longest relationship in her entire life. She was with that nigga for 4 years. So her acting like she don't know who dude is, she guilty already. How you don't know this nigga? And y'all was in love and shit for 4 years.
Oh yeah, I mean, we were good friends. Lived in the dorms for 2 years.
You guys lived in the same dorm?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Dykstra.
Okay. Were you guys just friends or anything else, or?
Yeah, we were good friends.
Yeah.
She acting like she really don't know that.
You guys?
Yeah, I mean, we dated. You know, I mean, what's this all about?
Well, it's relating to
nervous now.
His wife.
It's unfortunate that Stephanie's face wasn't captured at this moment, because she would have no doubt been immediately struck by the psychological reaction known as fight or flight. Her brain would have just triggered the influx of a specific cocktail of hormones in order to prepare her to either stay and deal with the threat or try and run away to safety. Stephanie chooses to fight.
Okay.
Okay. Did you know her?
And that's the crazy thing. Like, you can actually get up and walk away if you wanted to. That's what he was saying. Like, she went into fight or flight mode and chose to fight. But you can actually, like, get up and just walk away and be like, I don't want to do this.
Not really. I mean, I knew that he got married years ago.
Did you ever meet her?
God, I don't know.
Do you know who she was or anything?
Well, let me think. God, it's been a long time ago.
Look how crazy this bitch look.
I may have met her. Geez.
The words gosh, God, gee are exclamatory remarks used to express surprise or strong emotion.
Hey, G is a dope word, though, nigga. GB, you're down to that. All this bullshit. Come on.
We'll see them used continuously throughout this interrogation, which is the suspect trying to insinuate a vague memory due to a lack of contemplation on the subject matter. She's trying to emit the impression that she would have had no reason to give any further thought to John or anything related to John since they stopped seeing each other over 2 decades ago.
You know.
He be breaking that shit down, bro.
Well, let me ask you. You said you dated John. How long did you guys date?
I mean, what, are you guys, is this something?
As we know, Stephanie is a cop and has been for 25 years. She will be wise to the fact that acting oblivious.
Right, that body language says it all. Facts. She definitely know what the going on now. Bringing up all these names from her past, she probably always has this on her brain. I guess she thought she wasn't gonna never get caught. I mean, I wouldn't think I would get caught neither. If 23 years pass, that shit gotta be crazy.
As to the unusual development of the situation will be a glaring red flag in the eyes of the investigators. It's been shown time and again on this channel. Guilty suspects will often try and act naive to a blatant confrontation as a means to avoiding it altogether, whereas truthful subjects will address the confrontation and either refute it or, if it's subtle, want immediate clarification and transparency as to what was being insinuated.
Yeah, because he got another video on here where he's breaking down an interrogation video of somebody who's innocent. And what he just said right there, if the interrogator is coming at you with some shit that you know you didn't do, your response is not going to be like how she responded, like, what do you, I don't know what you're talking about. Your response is going to be like, man, I ain't do that shit, bro. I know I did not do that. I was not there. That's gonna be the response that you gonna give. You're not gonna try to be like nonchalant, like, what do you mean? No. Like, you gonna be like, no, I did not do that shit. What you mean? And it's a video on her where he, like I said, he interrogates an innocent person. And that nigga is like, I was not there. I was at home exactly 9 p.m. What is you talking about? Like, that's how you go respond to some shit. Real talk. Because everybody who's guilty always reacts how she react. Like, they oblivious to shit.
I mean, you said I was going to interview somebody about art and how you guys are.
Here's
I mean,
Stephanie, here's the situation. It's basically, we knew that this, when we saw this in this chrono, that maybe, there was some relationship there. That's what the chrono seemed to indicate.
The detective now subtly avoids the question altogether, but instead offers a deceptively reassuring response to the suspect. He makes a very sharp switch from the investigative subject matter to the previous topic of workplace rumors.
Her face,
he brings
guilty
her
as
focus
shit.
back to the false perception of them being on her side. Stephanie had just asked what was going on, and now he essentially replies with, "We are your friends. We're doing you a favor."
And we didn't want to come up to you at your desk and ask those kinds of questions or do anything. You know how up there people can see what's going on if you go into an interview room or people are in there getting supplies.
Okay.
So we wanted to afford you some privacy, some confidentiality to talk about this because we thought it might be, something, you're married to someone else, obviously, and so forth. And
she was able to continue on with life. Y'all just hear that? She's married to a new person and shit. Able to probably got kids. That's some bullshit, bro.
Want to, talk.
She reminds me of Jason Voorhees' mother. That's the perfect comparison, my nigga. That's perfect, bro. What was her name, bro? Lauren's like Laura Voorhees or some shit.
About these things in that setting where someone, we don't want the rumor mill or gossip or any of that kind of stuff to start.
That's fine.
She did some Jason Voorhees shit
as a means to try and speak to you in just a confidential place where where your business isn't out there for other people in your division to know about.
Whether it be shock or the
when he put that gray on her face, she kind of looked like the Michael Myers mask and shit. Yeah, Pamela Voorhees, Mike Myers.
Total reluctance to accept the situation at hand, Stephanie warily accepts the reassuring response without further inquiry into her initial challenge. She instead falls back into her agenda of having a foggy memory with regard to the incriminating contents.
God, that's been a million years ago. I mean, what year is it now? 2009? I mean, I graduated in 82. 82, yeah. We dated. I dated other guys. I'm sure he dated other girls.
Yeah, he dated a girl that you was jealous of. And he was engaged to that girl that she killed. Or was he already married? He was either married or already engaged. So you was that jealous that you did that foul shit.
Roughly, how long would you say you guys dated?
Oh, jeez.
Over-explain things that don't require an explanation and weren't even inquired about. It's a clear-cut indication of hyperarousal and a derivative of TMT, also known as terror management theory. The suspect will go off on unrelated tangents as means for gaining momentary relief. Going into detail about trivial things affords her a brief escape from the terrifying reality eventuating before her. This is a very common occurrence in interrogations where the suspect is facing serious charges, and psychiatrists believe it to be a subconscious coping mechanism.
I started school there in 78. I started UCLA in 1978.
So y'all heard was just about to transpire. He basically said like a guilty person is gonna go off the rails of the conversation. So he just asked her straightforward shit, and she just gonna start talking about a whole bunch of shit that don't matter concerning her and old boy, just to derail the conversation about something else.
I graduated in 82. I don't even remember what year he graduated, if it was a year or two before me.
The question was, how long did you date John Ford? And y'all see she's talking about shit that they didn't even ask her. I graduated in 84, he graduated in 82. Like, we ain't asked you all that shit. How long did y'all date? Answer the question. But the interrogators are so smart that they already know what's going on. So they just letting their dumb ass talk.
Okay.
I think he was a little bit older than I was. I mean, I can't remember if he was born, let's say I'm born in 1960.
Fuck, anybody asked you when he was born, motherfucker?
58 or 59. I mean, I knew his parents, I knew his sister, his brother went to Northridge. his sister spent the night at my house before.
You right, bro. She could have just said 4 years, but the reason why she's not saying 4 years is because she's trying to make it seem like she really didn't with that like that. But everybody know that she did. She trying to make it seem like, oh, he was just cool. We was just cool, but we weren't like, nah, you was in love with that man. And love so much with that man that you gonna kill somebody for him.
Obviously, I spent the night at his house before. We probably spent the night at my house before.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, because from what you're telling me, is you guys dated while you were in college together, right?
Yeah, and probably after college. I can't. Jeez.
She acting like she don't really know.
I met my husband.
She acting like she's like, I don't really remember. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was so long ago. You gonna remember a 4-year relationship, my nigga. Like, you don't just forget some shit like that. Like, I mean, we dated like once or twice. Nah, bitch.
And I meet Scott. Let's see. I was teaching DARE because I met Scott when I was teaching DARE up in Oregon. But we had long stopped, dating before that.
So you haven't talked to him for a long time?
Oh, I think I haven't talked to him in a long time. I couldn't even tell you when the last time I talked to him. I met Scott, I'm thinking in 92 maybe, April of 92. It was
Scott being.
You see how her face. She trying to make it seem like she don't really remember, but bitch, you remember every detail. I think what was year was that? Night? No, don't stop it. And the interrogator's already hip.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
They like this bitch. No, she remember this shit.
DARE. Let's see, what year is this? We'll be married.
And the reason why I know because like, if y'all ever talk to y'all parents about like my mama, for example. My mama ain't been with my daddy in about 20 plus years. But the stories she tell about how they met, she remember that shit verbatim. You do not forget stuff like that. Every detail you remember. We met in college. Your daddy played football. You remember all that shit. You don't just, damn, I forgot. Like, no, stop it.
I got married in 1996. I think I met Scott in 92. Prior to that, I couldn't tell you how long I had talked to John prior to that. Jeez, I moved to Simi in 1994.
It's so f***ed up because how can you even continue to live your life if you did such a horrible thing like that? How can you, this bitch was able to continue to live her life, get married to another dude, probably had kids. I think they gonna say that she was a good police officer overall. Like, what the fuck? What?
Because I lost my house in an earthquake.
Oh, really?
Quite honestly, I probably keep in contact with a few people from the dorms lived on the 10th floor. There's about 3 or 4 people I keep in contact with. There's probably like 6 or 8 of us that were all really close.
Mm-hmm. And who are those people?
Oh, geez. Diana Basta. The people I still keep. I haven't been in contact with her in a long time. Mm-hmm. I mean, what's this all about? I mean.
The suspect challenges the detectives for the second time, and once again the question is avoided, but this time in a more confrontational manner, as the topic is maintained with no reassurance afforded. The detectives are ramping up the pressure in a very subtle yet highly effective manner.
What ended the relationship between you and John?
I don't.
They did curve her question. Hella smooth, bro. That's crazy. They curved the out her shit. What is this all about? So, you said you was with John for how long? It was cold. Damn. It was like she didn't. Amazing.
We dated. I can't say that he was my boyfriend. I don't know that he would consider me his girlfriend. We dated. We did things. I played sports in college. He played basketball. His brother played basketball. We just,
acting like she didn't have no really relationship with that.
I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It was like I went out with other guys, saw other guys. I went on lots of vacations.
And once you guys split, were you guys still friends, or kind of, you know,
I
problems?
mean,
Is it friendly, not friendly?
no, I don't think it was not friendly. I mean, we were friendly. I know that we went to Hawaii at one point. Yeah, I mean, you know.
And you were
went to Hawaii with this nigga. And she's trying to act like I ain't really had no type of, I don't really remember. You know? It was so long ago, but we went to Hawaii. Stop the madness, bro. Stop the madness, bitch.
saying that
It's 2009 now.
Just don't go to Hawaii with a that's just, you know how you have friends and you have associates. You don't, the associate is people that you see and y'all kind of talk, but y'all ain't really like cool like that. She making it seem like that's what he was. You don't go to Hawaii with a motherfucking associate, bro. Like, let's just go to Hawaii, bro. Like, what? Nah, you was in love. Y'all was in love with each other.
ever met his wife?
I may have.
Do you remember her name or anything, or? Or what she did for a living, or where she worked, or anything about her?
The suspect was just asked 3 consecutive questions relating to the victim. She was supposedly in a reflective state during all 3 of the questions, yet her facial expression completely changed for the 3rd one. This is because she was pretending to be in a state of reflection for the first 2 questions, as she already knew the answers, whereas for the 3rd question, she actually was in a state of reflection and was genuinely searching her memory for the correct response.
Had you ever met his wife?
I may have.
Do you remember her name or anything, or?
Like the way, bro, this is why this dude's channel is so incredible, bro. The way he just broke that down, bro. Like, me, if I was just watching this interrogation footage without this breakdown, I wouldn't catch a lot of this shit. But he just said, she's literally like trying to remember like she don't remember shit. The interrogator just asked her, do she remember old girl? She like, not really. And you know damn well you do. And then he said when the interrogator actually asked her something that she didn't know, you can see her whole face and shit change because she's actually trying to find the correct answer now, bro. That shit is amazing, bro. I wouldn't be able to catch none of this shit.
The 3rd question is about to be posed, and her focus is about to switch from pretending to be thinking to actually thinking.
I just
what
said
she did for a living, or where she worked, or anything about her?
Well, I think I'm going to say that I think she was a nurse.
Probably her first genuine response through this whole thing.
Man, I can't remember how he said he met her. Yeah, I mean, it's been so long ago.
Well, let me ask you, did you go to their wedding?
That was a lot.
You know?
No, I didn't go to their wedding. No, I don't.
She was definitely at that motherfucking wedding. She was definitely at that motherfucker. Sitting in the corner mad and shit. Hating ass bitch.
I couldn't even tell you what year he got married. I mean, you know, it's been a million years ago. You know, again, I mean, what... You know, I don't understand why you're talking about some guy I dated a million years ago.
Well, do you know what happened to his wife?
Yeah, I know she got killed.
You wouldn't need to be an expert in body language to recognize the unmitigated terror emanating from the suspect's face.
Look at her face when she remembered that shit off top. Because if she would have denied that, yeah, your ass guilty. She guilty either way, but she answered that shit fast.
This moment. She had just verbalized the victim's tragic demise for the first time in most likely over 2 decades.
Wow.
What did you hear about that?
I saw a poster at work. I'm sure I spoke to him about it.
Right. You right, bro. That's the first thing she remembers. You see how quick she responded to when he asked her, do you know what happened to her? She was killed. Did you remember that shit though? You don't remember you don't remember all the other shit, but that right there.
I think I spoke to another friend of his about it.
And how did?
Right, what she mean? A poster? Well, that's some weird shit. A poster? Right, nigga. I tweaked out there. What do you mean? I saw a poster. Like what? I don't know. Maybe. That's weird.
How did you first learn about that?
Jeez. Someone could have called me.
She probably made her own poster. The fuck?
Heard it at work. I think at one point there may have been a flyer or something. I know a good friend of his.
Were you on the job back then?
What is she missing or some shit? A flyer. The fuck
happened?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm sure I was on the job. That's why I would have heard about it with the flyer. You have a good friend, Mike.
He saw her poster and said, "I killed this bitch." She kept that shit in her home office.
Boldrick Mike. You know.
But being that you were kind of used to see John, you know, was everything okay between you guys? I mean, there was never anything uncomfortable or anything between you and her?
8 separate witnesses testified that Stephanie had confronted Sherry at the hospital she worked at, while the two of them were reportedly in an intimate relationship with John. The confrontation was said to have been highly aggressive, and Stephanie had to be escorted off the premises by security. Reports stated that Stephanie was by far the more combative and even made threats against Sherry's life.
Wow.
I don't know.
Wow. How is that not brought up back 23 years ago? How was that not looked into? Y'all heard what she just said. She was in the hospital for something, and she showed up to the hospital basically arguing with the girl that she murdered and said that she was going to do harm to her 23 years ago.
God, it's been so many years. I mean, uncomfortable. I mean, I can't even remember if we had a conversation. I mean, we may have. I may have
Lying
seen her
like
at his
a mother.
Geez, how many years ago was that? I don't even know what year she, got killed.
Where was his apartment?
Notice her passive disposition as she gives the following truthful response.
On Roscoe.
Okay.
Yeah, Roscoe and east or west of DeSoto. Either east or west of DeSoto.
She dumb as because they'll ask her some shit and then she'll remember it. You can't play both sides, bro. Either you remember the shit or you don't. But like I said, there's no way you can forget any of this shit. Like somebody you've been involved with for that long, you don't forget nothing. She remember where this live. Come on, man. But don't remember if she had an altercation with his wife. Come on, bruh.
You know where he moved after? Did he move after he got married, or do you know? Or
now notice how her disposition switches from passive to frantic as she once again pretends to have a vague memory.
It's crazy.
I'm sure he did.
Did you know where he was living, or
somewhere in the valley?
Did you ever visit him and his wife?
No.
No, never went out to, get together, dinners, anything of that nature?
No. Like I said, his sister used to come over. His sister had come to my place. I knew his brother because his brother played basketball at Northridge. In fact, I was just coming across some pictures that I had just scanned from. I take a lot of photos, like 10,000, and I just did a service where I scanned everything.
Tangent about photos.
After his wife died, did you talk to him again or anything? Yeah,
I mean, I did talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to him, probably his parents, probably some other friends. I'm sure I talked to him.
Yeah.
It's obvious that it's so obvious that she's lying, bro. It don't get no clearer than this. Look at her face. This bitch look crazy as shit. You know damn well she did what she did, bro. Oh my gosh, she looked crazy through the whole shit. It is so obvious that you're lying.
You're not sure where he moved to after he got married?
No idea. I mean,
never went over to visit him or
I don't think. I mean, I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. I don't think I did. I mean, I know he lived on Roscoe for a long, long time.
After John's wife died, you said you may have been talking to him. Did your relationship start up again?
It did.
I would say no.
It lied.
Again, can you give me a year? I mean...
She lied like a motherfucker right there, bro. In the beginning of the video, JCS said after she killed his wife, they was with each other again. She just completely lied right there. That's the reason why you killed the girl, to get with him.
This is like 2009.
She died in 1986?
Yeah, I think it was 86.
1986.
Okay, like I said, I'm faintly remembering that I went to Hawaii with my friend Greg. Greg and I got certified for scuba diving. And I'm thinking that John met us there, meaning Greg and I.
Scuba diving
after he got married or whatever, were you dating anybody in particular?
And that was what year? 1986, you said?
I think he got
The
married.
answer is no.
Yeah, in around 85, 86, something like that. Were you seeing anyone serious?
See, that type of shit you don't forget. You don't forget who you was dating. The answer is no. You wasn't dating no damn body.
Seriously, or?
God, I couldn't say.
You don't remember some shit like that,
Geez,
bro.
I'm trying to think. I mean, you know, I dated a fireman.
Tangent about Mike the fireman. So you steady trying to change the subject. It was this fireman named Mike, and he was nice and right. Shut your dumb ass up. I told y'all this shit is amazing, bro. This channel is official, bro. This is some type of shit that'll be on TV. Like, the fact that this is a YouTube channel is insane to me, bro. It really is, cuz. Damn, she was talking about that for a minute. Damn! My nigga Mike fucking fucked the shit out of little stupid ass.
Dated.
I don't know why that just reminded me of that scene off of Thin Line Between Love and Hate. Yeah, this video. But remember that scene off the Thin Line Between Love and Hate when Martin was literally like getting ready to smash the crazy chick, and she was telling him about her husband, and he was like, shit, what you do to him or whatever. And she had said, I killed him. My nigga Martin said, nigga step back like, the I bet you that's the same thing that happened to Mike the fireman, nigga. Like, he was fucking her ass. He was like, it was this girl that I did not like back in the day. I said, shit, what happened? I killed that bitch. And Mike was probably like, hold on, what? Hello? Like, and then she went into detail of what she did and shit. I stabbed her about 20 times, beat her with a hammer, bit her face. My Mike said, oh, look at the time. Look at the time. Oh shit. That's my lead. What they call him, the fire chief. That nigga just called me. I got a shake. He said Mike was looking at that poster in that room. Homie, what the fuck is that? Oh my god. Oh, it's nothing. It's just a bitch I killed back in the day. Like, whoa. That's crazy, bro. Wow.
Gal that Mike was dating. And
Mike the fireman. This is funny.
And Randy broke up with that gal. I couldn't even tell you the gal's name, if I'm even thinking of the story right. And then I started dating Randy.
Yeah.
So.
Seems like she can always find some dick.
Not like I was a huge floozy or anything, but.
Yeah, you was.
No.
Floozy.
Or as you recall, after John's wife died.
Why you fucking Mike the fireman, an innocent girl lost her life for what? Just so you can go eventually go Mike the fireman? What? You what? I bet you old girl up in heaven like, this bitch really out here firemen's and police chiefs and shit. This bitch is a whole thought. Shit, at least I was married. This hoe is literally just the I'm dead, bro.
Did you start a relationship again with John, or dating casually, or anything like that?
Like I said, he met Greg and I in Hawaii.
Trying to change the subject. She lying. That question
no.
is, the answer to that question is yes.
What island did we go to? I think the Big Island in Kauai.
I mean,
Tangent about the Big Island. That shit killing me.
You heard about John's wife being killed. I mean, what was your reaction? I mean, you thought you heard about it, what, through a friend or in a bulletin or
Either
something?
a friend or a bulletin. I called the family. I called maybe some of his friends that I knew, and I mean, obviously it shocked you. If I heard it at work, you know, which I may have. I faintly remember a bulletin going around. You know.
Do you know what the circumstances were regarding her death?
Geez, let me think back. I don't know if it was, you know, if it was a burglary or something. Yeah, it's been so many years. I can faintly think that I may have saw a flyer.
Yeah.
What is this flyer you keep talking about, bitch? A flyer, bulletin board, posters. Like, shut the fuck up. It was this flyer that was going around. Who the hell passing out a flyer? Somebody die. Here, you walking down the street like, hey man, here man, check this out, man. Got this flyer for you. Damn, this bitch died? Like, what do you mean? What is this, bro? Niggas was just passing out flyers. You know, somebody got mad. Here, take this. What are you talking about? A flyer, bro.
It had her picture on it. You know, that's why I say, if somebody had called me, I may not have known what her last name was. I may have. I mean, maybe if you told me, I would remember it.
Do you remember her first name?
Shelley, Sherry, I don't know, something maybe, you know.
She could have said, it was in the newspaper. It was a real big story in the newspaper. What do you keep talking about flyers and posters and bulletin boards?
Like I said, it's been so many years, and
from all the years, as far as you can remember, do you remember ever talking to her? Just
well, I said earlier, you know, I mean, I may have, and now I'm thinking I may have gone to her and say, hey, you know what, is he dating you? He's bothering me, and so I'm thinking that we had a conversation about that. One or two, maybe. It could have been three. I don't want to say I had 3 conversations with her.
Like at her work or at their house or.
No, I'm thinking that
she's really trying her best to make it seem like she had no involvement with that woman. Y'all see that, bro? She's really just trying to just. I don't think I've ever really had a conversation with her. I think I saw her like once or twice. Like, you know, that, just stop the lies. That girl was the only thing on your mind back in what year they said it happened? 1984. She was the only thing on your mind in 1984.
Told me where she worked. I'm thinking it was a hospital somewhere. And I could have been, again, what year was that? Where was I working?
More random tangents.
92 or 93. There was the big earthquake. No, when was the big earthquake?
Tangent about natural disasters.
I stopped teaching there.
She was probably like, earthquakes are 60% of the things that happen in this town. Looking at us. Look at her. Every time I pause it, her face looks up, bro. Every time. She look like my supervisor at my old UPS job, and he was a man. She looked just like that nigga. I think that name was Dan or some shit.
Here sometime in 92.
When you said, like, hey, he's calling me, he needs to knock it off or what have you, I mean, was that civil? Was there,
no, there was not. I don't think there was anything. If the conversation lasted.
What was the question?
Stop teaching dare.
What the f*** was that? What was that chewing?
93. There was
Y'all saw that?
Earthquake.
What was that?
It was a big earthquake.
I'm surprised he didn't interpret that. She did some shit like, what the f***? Watch, cuz.
April of 92, because I stopped teaching dare.
Like, what the f*** was that? I didn't even see that at first, cuz. What the
92 or 93. No, when was the earthquake? April of 92.
I'm surprised you didn't stop it right there and say it. I see this shit that she just fucking did. See, this chewing indicates that she's thinking about Mike the fireman when she chewed on that dick. Look at that, bitch!
I stopped teaching there.
Hold on. What was that? Alright, I'm done, cuz. That's the last time.
I think I stopped teaching there sometime in 92.
What was that?
When you said, like, hey, you know, he's calling me, he needs to knock
Getting
it
your
off.
jaw
or what have
ready.
you, I mean, was that civil? Was there, I mean,
Oh,
did
no,
it,
no, it's not.
I gotta hear this question. What was the question?
I think I stopped teaching there sometime in 92.
when you said, like, hey, you know, he's calling me, he needs to knock it off, or what have you, I mean, was that civil? Was there, I mean,
Oh, yeah, no, there was not. I don't think there was anything. The conversation lasted a few minutes. I can't even remember. And what is it like? You know, we went out to lunch or anything.
Right, but there was no, like, arguments or fights,
I
or
don't think
it didn't get heated or anything like
Not that I recall. No, I mean, I would think that would stand out. I would think. Now, again, that's not standing out in my mind. You know.
So you didn't have any problems with her then?
No.
You didn't have any issues with her?
No, I mean.
But let me ask you. It seems like you didn't have any issue. Now, did she have an issue with you as far as because now you're telling her, hey, you know, tell them to stop calling. Now, you know, she's like, you know, you figure she'd be threatened by you.
You know, I don't know. I mean.
From what you remember, as far as when you talked to her, maybe you didn't take it as serious, but maybe, you know, did she? Maybe she was bugging.
I mean, like, was she throwing things at me or something, or?
Well, no, just
you know.
As far as you're trying to explain, like, hey, have them stop calling me, you know, stop playing games.
You know, I tell you.
So she was calling her house, harassing her, and she's sitting up here acting like did none of that happen? Why would that woman have a problem with you? Did y'all hear that? She was literally harassing that woman. Calling the phone, talking about, you know, me and your old boy and all that. Wow. You was on that type of shit?
If the conversation, I couldn't even tell you how long the conversation. If you said, did it last a half an hour? Did it last 3 minutes? Did it last 20 minutes? I can't.
It probably lasted about 3 minutes. Get the off my phone, bitch. The It was probably seconds. Your stupid ass on my, what do you keep calling here with that bullshit? And that's what probably made her mad.
I can't even remember. It's been so long ago.
Oh, you remember what she said.
If it was en route to work, you more than likely would have gone to her work and had this discussion with her.
I mean, that's sounding familiar. I mean,
at her work.
You guys are bringing this stuff up. I mean, that sounds familiar. But again, I mean, you know, what's this got to do with me dating him?
And you didn't deny it. Did he literally just say did they had a conversation at her work? If you acting like you didn't know this woman, what the fuck are you doing at her job?